up, What Nerdigans? This is the one and only Packer Girl 89, and today's hashtag anime nerdigan review is going to be for Berserk 2017, episode 6, aka episode 18, titled Fight for Survival Against the Demonic Legion. Now, before I get to this review, let me just briefly cover how I do my anime reviews, because they're a little bit different than the average anime tuber. So basically, what I do is I watch the episode of the anime, I have the corresponding manga chapter in front of me. This is supposed to be a manga to anime adaptation, and especially since Kentaro is fucking working on this, and he worked on this, and he put the manga on hiatus for this, the standard is really high here for Berserk. So I want you nerdigans to understand that, because I know, like, I know Berserk can fucking do it. I know it could be a manga to anime adaptation. It proved it with the first fucking episode, and it proved it last week to an extent too. Like, the problem with Berserk is that it's not consistent enough in, with its manga adaptation, manga anime adaptation. But anyway, like, if it's not matching panel for panel, frame for frame, I will definitely call it out, whether it's skip dialogue. And I gotta tell you, I don't know what the fuck is going on with anime this week. It's just, the writing has just been so fucking bad. Like, I don't understand this shit. You have the source material right in front of you, but that's a whole separate video if I'm gonna rant on that. Oh man, I will be doing that at some point. What was I gonna say? But yeah, if it's like skip dialogue, skip scenes, facial expressions are done wrong, especially on the elves in particular, because they are very expressive, and they have, especially Puck with his shenanigans, and if it's not done right, like, it kind of sucks out the comedy of Berserk, because Puck is our comedic relief. Him and Isidiro are our comedic relief for the most part. But when it comes to word changes, usually, if it wasn't for bad writing, what I would do is I wouldn't really call out word changes unless, like, the context of the dialogue in the anime doesn't match what the manga originally intended. But, like, if the dialogue is getting butchered, I have to say something. I just can't take it anymore. But anyway, let's get to this review. I don't want to ramble anymore. So, similar to what we had with Renai Boken last week. Well, not as bad as Renai Boken last week. What Renai Boken did was it skipped a whole fucking chapter and just went into the Shikimi storyline. In Berserk this week, it skipped like the first half of chapter 204, which was the first troll battle, and it was introducing us to the villagers. We didn't get that, and that really pissed me off. And I have it right in front of me here, and I'm gonna tell you what was skipped. So, like, how the chapter starts off is we see, like, all these corpses of the cattle as described, and we see people hiding, and the farmers of the village trying to attack a troll, and we see the troll from behind, and then see the troll's face. And then this is the dialogue that's skipped. Ah, no, Hannah, stay away. He can't be saved now. Ted! And we see him eating a human. And, like, I have a feel... I'm going to get to this a little later about the cannibalism that happened in this episode, which I'm glad it did because it happened in the manga. And, like, I really wish we would have gotten to see this, because the way that the trolls are being animated and everything is just so fucking nice. And we didn't get it. Hannah, get away from him. Hannah, and the troll, like, breaks, like, Hannah's pitchfork in half. Hold on a second, let me see. And then, the troll's about to eat her, and she's screaming, no! And, another villager says, God damn it, get away from my sister. Fool, you'll be killed. Horus, yes, it's Horus. Not the Egyptian god Horus. I don't think he's following the path of the Egyptian gods right now. He ain't following the path of magic of Horus, but I reread the Kane Chronicles, okay? So if I'm being a book nerdigan-ish, that's why, if I mention that shit. Anyway, he got it. Ugh, come on. And we, like, didn't get to see the pitchfork, like, stuck up the fucking, troll's nose, which would have been so cool to see. Ugh, come on now, Hannah. And then we see, like, the scene is supposed to be, this is all of this is skipped, where we see all the trolls, like, huddling, like, a huge herd of fucking trolls just eating and shit. And then we see everyone crying, and they're just like, damn it all, everyone. And then we get to this part here. Morgan, Morgan, you're all right one way or another. Where are the others? Well, we were attacked by trolls in the forest. Oh, whose coffins? Ted's and Horses. Like, if they would have done that first part and then done the intro song instead of just doing all the second half of chapter 204, I would have been so fucking happy with that. This would have been nice. But anyway, well, we were attacked by trolls in the forest. Oh, whose coffins? Ted and Horace's. Hannah got carried off. Ted was attacked while standing guard at the livestock barn, and when she rushed over to save him, Hannah was raped. Yes, she was raped. Is Japan trying to censor Berserk? I'm scared that they're going to do that, because Berserk, if they don't censor JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, you can't censor Berserk. You just can't, Japan. You can't do that. And fuck, you don't freaking censor Attack on Titan like shit. Again, this discussion is made for a whole another video. But anyway, Horace stabbed one with the pitchfork trying to rescue his sister, and then a whole pack ganged up and beat him to death. Like, if we would have gotten like to see that like afterwards, or fuck, if we didn't even get like the this recap or whatever, and we got to actually see the trolls beating him to death, that'd be fucking cool as hell. But whatever. All that was left of Ted and Horace was mincemeat. What cursed timing, they were only married 4 days ago, and Ted and Horace were best friends. The three were brought up like siblings and all. Damn it, they do such vicious things. They don't think of this village as more than a food trough. I realize it's a time of mourning, everyone, but so what was the end result, Morgan? Chief. And then this is where the episode starts off. So we missed a whole lot of content, and like the thing that I love about Berserk chapters, and it really sucks that the anime is not doing it this way, is not adapting it like perfectly, and I understand why. I'm gonna tell you why. Because there was this episode, like adaptation wise, goes from the second half of chapter 204 to like the first quarter of chapter 210. So I understand like why they decided to skip it. But at the same time, it's kind of, for timing reasons, but at the same time, it's like, it kind of annoys me a little bit, because it was such a good setup for this whole thing, instead of just like jumping into the villagers. Like, we got an idea of what was going on in the village before then. Let's see. And the main thing I really wanted to see from the first half of the chapter, I wanted to see that fucking troll getting stabbed with the fucking pitchfork. That shit was awesome. And then this part was, kind of bothered me when Isidoro in the anime said, they're just jealous. In the manga, what he says is that, that he's the life of the party. And I'm just like thinking to myself, like, what does being jealous, like, I guess you can be jealous of someone being the life of the party, but like, stop it. And this part, and okay, I am starting to question if anime is being PC or not, because there is this line in the manga that the villagers say, and this is about the elves, which was if she has queer elves with them, she must be a witch. And I was like thinking to myself, ooh, yeah, I don't think they wanted to offend gay people. I think Japan, I'm starting to get worried about you, Japan, especially anime-wise. Manga-wise, no one pays attention to the PC. Like, there's no PC in manga. Like, and it is so, and that's why I like manga a lot more than anime, and fuck, books aren't PC either. That's why I like books and manga so much, because they're not PC. US comics are PC. Don't tell me they're not. They are fucking PC. But anyway, that's a whole other discussion. But anyway, and when we got to the she must be a witch, they had it as a question. It's supposed to be a statement. Like, they know she's a witch. They're not questioning it. Well, I'm kind of like, here's the thing that kind of bothered me a little bit in this episode, and I don't know what the fuck is going on with the subtitles, because there was a couple of scenes in here, and one of them being the stuff with the elves. Like this part in particular was kind of, well, we didn't get to see if they even said those lines or not. If you know Japanese and you could tell me if they did say those lines, like the following lines, like I think they did, please let me know in the comment section, which was Puck says, "Don't say mean things, evil airhead." And then Evil Lara is like, "No, it's Evil Lara." And then this part of the village priest dialogue was skipped. Will it not rather result in the needless addition of victims? And like something, Berserk is doing this, a lot of the other animes are doing this, where like when they're skipping dialogue, they're skipping it in like the most random spots. Like sometimes they'll just skip it like in the middle of the dialogue. Like usually it's like the beginning or the end of the dialogue that they'll like skip, but like I don't know what is going on with anime right now. It's just really weird, and I have to do a video on this. I know, I'll do it, promise. But anyway, and then Morgan's dialogue, there's a lot of dialogue skipped in this chapter, besides, you know, the first half. But Father, they have elves along with them. And then the village priest says, in the manga, "Do you think things have the power to defeat those evil beasts?" And then Morgan says here, and this whole panel was skipped, and that kind of pissed me off. Well, he says, Morgan says, well, perhaps not. And in this panel, Puck and Evil Lara have like the most adorable, angry, annoyed faces, and they're saying "creepo," and I'm like, why did you have this? Why? So when the village chief asks if they are a traveling troupe in the manga, that's what he does. In the anime, he's like making it a statement, like he already knows that they're a traveling troupe, and like that kind of bothered me a little bit. It's like, dude, come on. And then this part of the dialogue of the priest dialogue was skipped too, which was, "No wonder pretending to be witches and practicing dubious divination must be your forte." Like after that. And then Morgan was supposed to say performers make sense. And then this part was skipped. With like we don't have Puck's juggling, and he says, "Watch first, pay later." And there's like a little subtitle that says "Juggle Dud." And Evil Lara then says, "You're not helping here." And then this part of Isidiro's dialogue was skipped. Hold on a second, let me just make sure I'm in the right spot here. This is what was this part of the dialogue that I was thinking? This part of oh yeah, and then Puck says "At least enjoy this performance. I'll spin extra for you." Like they had Puck spinning, but they didn't have the dialogue. So again, it's not all the animator's fault. It's the writing. The writing is just getting fucked up. Hold on. Oh, but this part was skipped here. Like, yeah, Evil Lara says, "You're not helping here." And then Isidiro says right after that, he says, "I knew it. Little girls don't look like the real thing." And then, hold on, let me just double check my notes here. But I do love, again, I love that Puck is on the mushroom and he's spinning and he's so freaking cute. And I did say that, at least enjoy this performance. I'll spin extra for you. And then this part kind of bothered me because, like, as you nerdigans know, Fernice is struggling, you know, with her identity in the sense, like, especially since she and Sepiko became, oh fuck, where is it? Secularized. There we go. And this part of the dialogue was skipped completely, and that kind of bothered me because it's just something that's been happening. It's been happening a lot lately, and like when Farnese goes to, you know, face the priest later on in the episode, like it makes more sense with this dialogue versus not having this dialogue at all. It's just like, oh, Farnese is going to go stop the priest. Like, we don't even, I will get to that part a little later because that part kind of pissed me off too. But anyway, this is the dialogue that was skipped. Farnese says, I will handle this. And then Sepiko says, Lady Farnese. And Eva Lara says, when are you quick? And like in the same panel, she, Eva Lara says, when you'll quit. When will you quit? And then Puck says, it's by performer's blood. And yeah, again, the comedy is being, a lot of comedy got cut, but whatever. But again, I understand why, but like, to an extent, I understand why the first portion of the chapter being cut. I really wish it wasn't, but I really don't understand the Lady Farnese and Sepiko dialogue being cut. That kind of bothered me. But this is what, the rest of the dialogue that was skipped. And Bernice says here, you might understand if I drop the name of the Court Supreme. And then Sipiko says, you mustn't. We secularized ourselves of our own accord. And he's whispering it to her, obviously. If we are not careful, a search warrant may be issued by the Holy See regarding the Albion incident. And then Bernice says, yes, but... And then Puck is supposed to say, performers' blood flows free. And then Casca... Like, the scene where Gut saves Casca when she falls in a casket. Yes, she falls into a casket. That shit is completely skipped. And and then this is the dialogue from the villagers, because the villagers are assholes. And they say, hey, what are you doing? Cursed. Out of there now. What's with this girl? What's with this girl? She's insane. And then this part of Gut's dialogue was completely skipped. And again, this really bothers the fuck out of me. Which was, and this is after saving Casca, he says sorry, and then Casca, like you know, because she's still scared of Guts, goes into into Lady Farnice's arms because she just doesn't want to be near him. Where was this in my thing here? Okay. Yeah, after saving Casca, sorry, I would have loved to fucking see that shit. That would have been so good, cool animated. And then he says, after Casca runs into Farnice's arms to get away from Guts, he says, sorry about that. You see how it is. And then, like, near the end of the chapter, or I think this is at the end of the chapter. Let me just double check. This was the final line that was skipped from the chapter, which was Guts saying, let's go, it's bad to hold up a funeral. But I'm really happy that they kept SCHRIEKE's inner monologue here. And the way the chapter ended, minus that part of the dialogue being skipped, it was really nice. But the thing is like, when you skip Guts' dialogue like this, when he says smart aleck things like this, it kind of takes away from his personality, and it really bothers the fuck out of me. So now we're going into chapter 205. And, okay, so we're in chapter 205, and they're calling it mind speak, you know, their telepathy. But in the manga, it's called interference. Again, same thing with the weapons not being called fetishes. That kind of bothers me too, because again, that's part of the lore that's getting fucked up. But in all reality, let's face it, it is mind speak. But it just, I don't know, it just bothered me. And we didn't get to see Puck. We didn't get to see Puck with his dandelion and his shield. Like, we never get to see, like, Puck do... Like, we've only seen Puck talk about, like, the way of the elf once. Or the elf battle style, excuse me. Once or twice. And it's supposed to occur a lot more. But whatever. And Puck is supposed to be, like, with his dandelion and shield. He's supposed to be, there you are. And Evil Air's like, where? But I gotta say... The Dirty Monkey facial expression is so, like, the Dirty Monkey is so fucking hilarious. I love it. I love it. That was so nicely done animated. Like, Red Eye Boken's been doing this well, too. Where, like, when they do their thoughts and they do the facial expressions, like when, I'm going to spoil Red Eye Boken for you for a second. Like, when Guri, like, was trying to remember who, Shikimi was, it had, like, it was, like, perfect. It matched the manga, and that's what this reminds me of. Sorry, it just made me think of Red Eye Boken. Where am I in my notes here? And then SCHRIEKE, this part, like, I don't understand why this happened. Like, if they would, I know this wouldn't have happened if they weren't trying to adapt so many chapters in an episode, which I really wish they didn't. I really wish that we would have only had, like, a few, we could have had, like, one less chapter. And I would have, like, we could have not had the end of, or the first part of chapter 210, and I'd be fine. But anyway. But this part was completely skipped. Like, her explanation was, like, cut in half. And it was SCHRIEKE's explanation of the transference. And this was the part that was skipped. With those hairs attached to you, your OD fields are subconsciously adhered to mine. Further, for those who lack training in the concrete visualization of images, thoughts, before they are given form, the letters and words are vague and inconstant. Until you are accustomed, please sound out the words distinctively in your mind. If you master thought transference, the communication of intent beyond that of normal conversation becomes impossible. Okay. Now I gotta bitch about the writing here, because they really fucked up Isidiro's dialogue. I'm gonna read what the manga was, And this was, hold on, let me just make sure I have the right spot here. Where the fuck is that? Oh, it was, after SCHRIEKE says, I want everyone to abide by my instructions. This part was completely skipped, or this part was just completely fucked up. Like, it was just, like, butchered. This is what it was supposed to be, from Isidero. That ain't funny. Just because you can use a little magic, you're gonna act like our leader? Who's gonna be wrapped around the finger of some little goody-goody like you? Where's the next part here? And, oh, thank God they had Commander Puck. Commander Puck is so goddamn cute. He looked so cute in his military uniform, and his dialogue was awesome, and I love military Puck. We didn't get Yoda Puck, and I'll talk about that in a little bit, which pissed me off because I love like Puck's different style, like different outfits and shit, because he's so cute. And then this part was completely skipped, and this is right as Isidero is training, I think. Hold on, let me just double check and make sure. Yeah, this is when Isidero, this is like the start of Isidero's dialogue when he's training. This part was completely skipped, and this is what it was. Damn it, no matter what I do, a one-handed sword grip throws me off balance. Still, that witch apprentice just joined us, and she gets to call the shots. Guts and the others sure got coaxed into it by that piss-hat shrimp quick enough. And then, we don't have Puck like, we do get a scene of Puck fishing. But Puck was supposed to be fishing the entire time, and he was supposed to say this right here. Where is it? Just when you thought it was your turn to play superior to this little girl, even more hasty than you, suddenly you're treated like a monkey. What's more, she steals all the glory, and you're still left in the cellar. That must sting. And then Isidero says, thought transference? Or he's thinking that. And then he says, quiet you, no commenting on people's thoughts. And like, and this is just something that's been lacking in Berserk, is like because Puck and Isidero's their chemistry is just so fucking awesome, and I love their shenanigans. Like, we don't get enough of that in this anime. We don't. Like, they cut out so much of it, and it bothers me. And then when Morgan comes in, this part of this of his dialogue got cut right here, which is, but no use, nearly all in the fish in the river have been caught. He just says there's no fish, and it's just like, well, it's supposed to be, there's like nearly all of it. You should have said there's no fish left to be caught or something. And then Puck is supposed to say, like, he's supposed to say, want some of mine? That's when we saw fishing Puck. Not gonna lie here. But then, as Morgan's talking to Isidero, Commander Puck was supposed to show up again, and he didn't, which pissed me off, because this was the dialogue here. Nope, and he's supposed to say, no problem, I'm a military man. And then Puck says, after that, he says, though officially you're the lowest disciple in my school of elf dimension style, a difficult, incompetent disciple, mind you. And the Puck says, this part was skipped and it's not fair. He says, compared to him, those trolls are like pygmy marmosets. And then we didn't get to see like how much we got some of the dialogue where Isidero was mentioning Guts, talking about Guts and like how he admires him, but we didn't get like this part of the dialogue. And there's like supposed to be in the panel, there's like an image of Guts there, like it shows you how much he idolizes him, which was and this was the dialogue. Where are you? Even now I get chills down my spine when I watch him fight under the moonlight. Actually, I can't even tell who's the real beast. He's a monster that eats monsters. And then Yoda Puck was fucking skipped. Yoda Puck was supposed to be here. And he looked so cute. He looked so cute, like dressed up like Yoda, and we didn't get it. And this is what the dialogue was supposed to be. And perhaps for now, I'm his master, you say. Already deep into the dark side, this young one is. Like, this was skipped, and it's like, ah! And then, this part of, Morgan's, and Morgan and Isidero and Puck's conversation was completely skipped as well. Again, I understand why they cut some of the scenes because of time constraints, but at the same time, it's like, dude, then don't adapt so many fucking chapters at once. Like, I don't understand. Is it, like, can you just, Kitaro, why couldn't you just tell the people at the anime studio, look, dude, we can't cut all this content out here. Do you, like, I can't do that. Oh my god, I just don't understand, but whatever. And this is the okay, so, yeah, well, yes, well, yes, but aren't your parents worried about you? And then Puck says, like, he's, with the question, run away? And going into Isidro and Morgan's conversation, about, his dreams, Morgan, this part was skipped. It's too late for that, in life for that. Wait, it's too late in life for that. Isidro then goes, well, guess that's true. But, and then when Morgan's talking about his adventure, oh my god, it is so perfect. They have him, like, running, like, it's matching. Like, I'm telling you, like, the stuff that I don't talk about in the episode, for the most part, the stuff that that I'm not talking about right now, or I'm going to be talking about for most of this review, like, if I don't talk about certain scenes, I'm sorry, I'm just collecting my thoughts. If I don't talk about certain scenes, it's because the anime is actually adapted that part of the chapter really well, and there's really nothing to comment on besides the fact that it's doing panel for panel, frame for frame. But, like, again, there's that inconsistency factor, but it happened a little bit, there was a few scenes, like, with the Puck stuff, that they didn't have him in the right position, but, like, for the most part, like, up to this point in the episode, I gotta say, the manga, the only problem I really have with this episode, besides, some of the skipped scenes, is the dialogue, and it's mainly the skipped dialogue that's bothering me. That's the main thing that's bothering me. Let's see. And then after, Morgan reminisces, he says, but it always stayed stuck in my heart, the, one adventure I had, and I really wish that line would have been there. But, like, again, Morgan's flashbacks and stuff like that, like, as he was, narrating and stuff, it was perfect. It was basically perfect. I think, okay, and then this part, again, like, this part is skipped as well, and this is near the end of the chapter, where Evil Era says, I don't like this place, and after the brats talk shit, Evil Era's like, what's the big idea, brats? That's dangerous. Hey, SCHRIEKE, blow him away with magic. Instead, all we got was, Evil Era, like, shaking her fist and saying, monkey, and I was, like, thinking, what? How does that make any fucking sense? But, whatever. And then this part, and then the last part of the dialogue, and this is the first time, really, that the last part of the dialogue, no, it's not, I'm sorry, the second to last scene here was skipped. Like, a good chunk of the dialogue between Guts and SCHRIEKE was skipped, and this is what it was. Here we go. Guts says to SCHRIEKE, the whole place has been ransacked. Good. Well, no worse than an army. They didn't raise the place. And then SCHRIEKE says, thank you very much for being a quick wit at the cemetery. However, I think lying so casually to get into the village could come back to haunt us. And then Guts in her monologue says, I'd say the old lady trained her well. And then Evil Era says, you tell him, girl, that part was skipped. But, like, if I want to talk about, like, positioning and framing wise, like, it was done very well. The main thing I'm really happy about that they are not skipping is SCHRIEKE's inner monologue, because that shit is so important. The main thing I was pissed about being skipped, I think this was the chapter that I'm thinking of. Hold on a second. Was the Puck stuff, a lot of the Puck stuff being cut out, and SCHRIEKE's, explanation being cut as well, and also the, a lot of the more of the Isidro Puck interactions are getting cut, and I just don't understand. Now we're going into chapter 206, and SCHRIEKE says, and this part is skipped, which is over and over, never tiring. And Evil Era says, what do you expect? She really is a kid, And I gotta say though, like, but I gotta say this. That was the only part that was skipped in chapter 206, were those lines. Were those 2 lines. Only 2 lines were skipped in chapter 206. Everything else was fucking perfect. It was perfect adaptation. And this is my problem with Berserk. It's inconsistent with that. Like, I just don't understand why we can't have everything. If My Hero Academia can do it, why can't you guys? This is such bullshit. Especially since you just proved that you could do it. And, like, it really felt like that portion of the manga was coming to life, and it was so nice. Okay, now let's get to chapter 207. And something I wish, and I gotta say, the Seppuku attack was beautiful. The only thing I didn't like, though, that I wish they would have done is, like, in the manga, there's a more of a close-up on the actual wind spirits, the individual wind spirits, and you could see, like, the outline, each individual one. I wish it was like that in the anime. Like, that's my only complaint on that. And shit, where is it? Okay, and this was skipped. What was that? What happened? And then Isidoro says, and this part was skipped, he slashed the trolls to pieces without touching them. And then Seppuku says, well, so amazing as real magic is there for the most part, but this part was cut. Quite heartening in a fight against monsters. And then Puck says, and this was skipped, wins where it's at, wins the bomb. And then, okay, Isidoro in the anime says shit about showing off. Says shit about showing off. And this is what he says in the manga. Is, damn, if you're gonna have all the fun, I gotta test this thing's power. And, oh my fucking god, like, again, this is bad writing. But, oh my god, like, Isidoro is just so goddamn funny. I fucking love it. Like, this is when the manga started to come to life. And then but, like, it was starting to come, and then they fucking screwed it up because Isidoro was supposed to say no fire and then run away. And, Puck is thinking knew it, and, like, I was just like, that just ruined the full fucking scene. By not having that little portion there where he says no fire and running away, like, before he runs away, like, that kind of ruined the scene for me. I was like, damn it. And then, shit. Where my fucking notes are being retarded. Just give me a second. And then Isidoro is supposed to say, damn it, it's all right for you. And yes, the trolls are cannibals, and the shit is animated beautifully. I fucking love it. That's why I don't understand why we didn't get to see some of that earlier on, and why that scene is cut, but whatever. What was the thing I was going to say? So, this is what, again, I don't know what is going on with the subtitles, but this was the scene where we have both monologue and dialogue. But they don't do it throughout the whole episode. This was another example of it, where Farnese is saying, come on, stand up. While, you know, Seppuku's having his inner monologue. And I was just like thinking to myself, oh my god, Berserk, what the fuck? Why are you doing this to me? But anyway, and then Isidoro, this line was skipped, gonna hog all the fun again, huh? And now, I gotta talk about the soundtrack right here, when Guts came in. Oh my fucking god, like, when I heard those bagpipes, the first thing I thought it was Braveheart, and the Scots. It went, like, from Scottish, like, Irish-Scottish music to, like, Pirates of the Caribbean. That's how I described Guts' entrance music, and it was so fucking epic. Like, I was in the airport listening to this, I was like, oh my god, this is so cool, and I think people were giving me weird looks. But anyway, the rest of chapter 207, for the most part, was really, really done nicely. It's just that, like, the whole thing when Isidoro didn't say no fire, like, it was just like, huh? Why didn't you say that? And then, now we're in chapter 208. And this fight is so beautiful. Like, I would have been happy if we ended at chapter 208. And if we would have had the first part of 204 and ended at 208, I would have been totally fine with that. And, of course, you know, keeping all the content. And something that I'm glad that Berserk isn't doing is that it's not doing bullshit filler. Thank you, Kentaro, for stopping that bullshit that was happening in Berserk last year. Let's see. And this part was skipped. Here, Seppuku's dialogue, which was, and that would be why he has no need of magic, and this is about Guts. And Puck says, human windmill, and Isidoro said, het, ignorant saps, bet that opened their eyes, serves him right. And then the priest is supposed to go, arg, enough. The fact remains that it's dangerous here. Everyone hurry inside. And then SCHRIEKE, this bothered me so much. we didn't get to see the interference where SCHRIEKE says, please buy me some time. We saw this stuff to the church, for her to go, for everyone to go to the church, but we didn't get to see the other part. And I was like, nah, that's not fair. And then Sepiko is supposed to say, Lady Farnese, inside as well, please. Casca's care is in your hands. And then the priest says, hey, you people. And Sepiko says, I beseech you, spirits. And Puck is supposed to say, Mayday, Mayday. And then, like, after, like, the fire isn't working, Puck says, you should just stand back and throw berries. And Isidira says, I don't think so. Attacks trolls with berries. Go away, go away. And that part was like, oh, that's what it was supposed to be. And then, this is the part that really bothered me that was skipped. And this is why the Farnese stuff was, the Farnese Sepiko dialogue earlier in the episode was kind of important. Was, just as the priest was going to go up to, try and stop SCHRIEKE, he was saying this, and he was looking up at SCHRIEKE, and he was thinking this, magic? Absolutely ridiculous. I will not permit such behavior in this house of the Lord. And then he's up on the roof. And Lady Farnese is like, the father is, she has a little thing where she's like, oh my god, something's wrong here. I can see that. And then, SCHRIEKE then and then this part, and then, like, the dialogue between, I gotta say, seeing SCHRIEKE doing the spell and being in her trance, that was animated so nicely. I fucking loved it. Especially the stuff that we got to see in chapter 209 and 210. Oh, it was beautiful. Yeah, Lady Farnese says the priest he's, and then Farnese, this part was the first part of her dialogue, she just randomly shows up on the roof instead of like her being kind of suspicious. Again, that's why the Lady Farnese and Sepiko dialogue is kind of important. Where is it? Farnese says, with her magic, she can do it. We were saved too. And then the priest goes on to say, this village should entrust all to, or the second half of the priest's dialogue is cut, which was, this village should entrust all to the fate God has assigned it. And Farnese's inner monologue, there's no time to be unsure. That was completely skipped. For the most part, when it comes to chapter 207, or is this 208 that I was talking about? Oh, chapter 208? Chapter 208 was pretty damn good. I'm not gonna lie. It's just like, again, you like when you skip, as I said, when you skip stuff like the Farnese and Sepiko dialogue, it kind of ripples. It has like a ripple effect because there was that inner storyline going on with Farnese that we didn't get to see. Is this the thing I needed? No. Then we go into chapter 209. And this part was skipped. A good chunk of the first part was skipped. That is nasty. Are these things really specters? They reek of shit and blood. And then Sepiko says, look out lest you be eaten. And Isidira says, I can't get through, and this is like when they're in the church and shit. And Isidira, what it was supposed to be, I don't know what the writing fucking sucks. Says, the hell's SCHRIEKE doing? She's all talk. Guess this is too much for an apprentice. And then again, Isidira, like, as he's about to go fight the trolls, he says it's payback time, rotten moomin freaks. And then this part of his inner monologue, like, before he started losing balance, was skipped, which was low, sharp, now. And then the thing that pissed me off the most about this adaptation of the chapter, unless, again, I don't know, because they didn't show the subtitles for it, but I just think it was just, like, rushed or whatever. Let me know if you speak Japanese. I'm talking about the spell. Let me just get to where it is on my notes here. Hold on a second. Shit, where are you? It was... Oh, while I'm finding this, I gotta say, like, this chapter, like, minus the, the spell, which I'm gonna read to you in a second, what it was supposed to be, it was just like extremely cut off. It was just fucking unbelievable. Shit, where the hell is it? Here it is. I thought I had it. Give me a sec. Here's what the rest of the spell was supposed to be. Oh, blessed King of the East, whose spirits rise over the mountains as a zephyr, and whose golden raiment gleams like the sun. Oh, blessed King of the West, whose name trembles even the water spirits who caper beneath the waves. Oh, blessed King of the North, oh, blessed King of the South, brilliance greater than everlasting flame is thy majesty. Oh, blessed King of the North, it is for thy rule that all living beings of the earth rejoice. Oh yeah, here we go. In all places, may we be protected by the four sacred kings, all who's kept distant from us. Ve, Gepla, Atega, Ateg, Ve, Gedula, Markdo, Le, Orham. But I gotta say, like, I want to say up to, Oh, blessed King of the North. It was matching frame for frame. It's just that the dialogue, like, I don't know if it was translated or not, or if they just skipped it. Like, if they just skipped it, that's going to piss me off even more. And I have to, again, question the writing. Like, Kitara, what did you tell these motherfuckers to do? Did they not listen to you or something? Like, I just don't know. But, minus that whole thing, like, the rest of the chapter being adapted was fine. And then, chapter 10, it's, again, 210, like, the only part that was skipped was Puck saying, it's like I powered up too. But, like, the battle looks so goddamn beautiful. I fucking love this battle, this war with the trolls. This is a troll war. This is a troll war. You could say they're Trump supporters, you could say they're Bernie supporters, you could say they're Antifa, you could say they're something, but it's a troll war. But would I say I enjoyed this episode? It's definitely better than Booster Shoujo Metabolism. Now that shit pissed me off. Like, that shit was full of filler. This actually at least gave me fucking canon the whole goddamn time. That's the one thing Berserk gets. The thing I have to, again, the main thing I got to question here is what's going on with this writing. The animation is freaking fantastic for the most part. Everything for, like, minus the scenes that are skipped, it's matching frame for frame, panel for panel, and it makes me happy. But I gotta ask, whose idea was it to try and adapt, like, almost 6 chapters of the manga? Like, that was fucking stupid. Or, it was pretty goddamn ambitious. I just feel like we lost a lot of important content in regards to the lore. And that really pisses me off when we lose content in regards to lore. And Renai Boken does this a lot, where they will skip dialogue that's relation to the lore. So, I don't know what's good. I don't know if I would say this is my least favorite episode of Berserk or not. I'm starting to lean that. No, episode 2 was still the worst. I'm not gonna lie. Episode 2 was definitely the worst episode of this season of Berserk. Or of 2017 Berserk. This is up there. Like, I'm really torn. It's hard for me to, like, to think if I really hate this episode or if I really like it. Like, because there's parts where it feels like it's coming to life. Like, I'm just, like, totally mixed on this. And it shows potential, though. It's not like Booster Shoujo Metabolism where I'm really starting to lose hope for that fucking anime, to be honest with you. But anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What did you think of this episode? If you're an anime only, I definitely want to know from the anime onlys. Do you wish we would have gotten this content that was skipped? Manga fans, just rant, please. If you're pissed off, rant. Feel free. Let me know if I'm wrong on some things, and if you speak Japanese and the subs missed a translation, please let me know in the comment section, because it's gonna bother me. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Nerdigans Inc. And if you love what I'm doing and want to contribute to the Nerdigans Inc. expansion, there's a few ways you could do that. You could donate to the Nerdigans Inc. PayPal, Patreon, or purchase something off the Nerdigans Inc. Amazon wishlist. All those links are in the description box below. Also, make sure you follow me on the Twits, aka Twitter, follow my Twitch channel, and friend me on PlayStation Network. All that's in the description box below as well. Till next time, Nerdigans, I'll be seeing you later. Bye!